is worth 8 marks now, so we're going to need to make sure we're putting in a bit more effort than we needed to for question 1. So this time we're looking at lines 8 to 15. And so we'll go up in a minute and we'll highlight that section. And we need to make sure that we're really looking at this question. So how does the writer use language? So we need to make sure that if we see language, remember we are zooming in on keywords and phrases. So that's the same as we would annotate a question. I'm just putting it in brackets there. To describe the atmosphere of the assembly. So this is the focus of our question, and we need to pick out any words and phrases that really help us to understand what is it like to be in that assembly, what sort of atmosphere are we having. Okay, so lines 8 to 15 take us up to this section, so feel free, same as you would, use a different coloured highlighter. So I'm going to be looking through this, and I need to find something that makes me think, oh, if I was in that assembly, how would I be feeling? What's that atmosphere like? And where's the evidence in the words and phrases that help me to sort of see that? So Bryce is the head teacher, and he's straining over the top of the lectern like a bulldog up on its hind legs. So the same as we have at the front of our theatre, that thing that the head teacher or whoever's delivering the assembly stands behind, that's called the lectern. And he's like a bulldog up on its hind legs. Now, if I think of a bulldog, it's not the cutest, fluffiest little thing that I think I want to cuddle. It seems to be quite aggressive. And not only that, but he's straining. Okay, so that's the focal point of this assembly, and it's someone who seems to be quite aggressively leaning up and approaching the people that he's talking to. It's every morning alike. As soon as the hymn is announced, you're off revving up, and then he starts making these noises like the racetrack thing. But when he says hall, the word hall rings across the hall. So he's not just said it, we need to look at the fact that he's shouting, and there's lots of this punctuation that leads us to that inference, isn't there? Lots of explicit punctuation shown there to show that it's exclamatory sentences. He's forcefully saying it and he's shouting at them. Now it talks about the sound, the word hall, ringing across the hall, striking the windows, and lingering there like the vibrations of a tuning fork. If you don't know what a tuning fork is, just pause the video for a sec, quickly Google it. It's something that you sort of tap against something and it goes ring like this, and it helps people to tune a piano. But it's the noise reverbs for quite some time afterwards. Okay, now if we look at this, the word hall can't actually strike the window. It can't go and beat the window and linger there as though it doesn't want to go. So you need to think of a technique that we use to say that a feature is given a human quality. It begins with P, so try and think about that technique. No one muffed, not a foot scraped, not a page stirred. So this no one, not. Are these positive or are these negative types of words? And what technique is it when things occur more than once? So it becomes a bit of a pattern. The teachers looked seriously into the ranks of the boys. The boys stood looking up at Grice, each one convinced that Grice was looking at him. The silence thickened. I quite like that phrase as well. I think I can do something with that. The boys began to swallow their Adam's apples, their eyes skittering about in still heads. So I like the fact that this silence is sort of eating them up, and there's a lot of focus on the shouting and the noise that comes, and then that's completely contrasted with the lack of noise coming from the boys. So that's going to be something I really, really build up in my answers. Okay, I'm just going to pause that there, and then we're going to see how we can actually plan this out into a bit more of an answer in the next clip.